This is AJ Reygadas with the Sauce Podcast, coming at you live every Wednesday morning at 7 a.m. Coming at you from the S180 Productions, Align Studios. I got an amazing guest today that I've been looking forward to ever since I asked him if he would come on the show. And man, you know, I always say that I didn't have a necessary or a specific goal that I was at least angling for when I started this podcast. But now, as I've been doing this every week, I've been noticing I'm really enjoying hearing people's story, their struggle, where they came from and whatnot. And now to be able to just interview people that have stories where they come from humbleness and vulnerability is amazing in itself. And so sure enough, I've known my boy. Well, first, let me just introduce you, bro. I got my boy Justin in the house.
Yes, sir.
CEO of Just in Time Moving Company. You know, I was thinking about it this morning, man. I honestly can't remember. How did we first meet? Do you remember? Did one of us message each other on social media?
I think that it was on Shift Talk. Somebody recommended me, like, oh, I need a mover.
Yeah, okay. That's right. Because, bro, everyone's always supporting you on Shift Talk. Yeah, man. So, I had you come into the office and talk to the agents in one of our meetings. And, you know, one thing that I've always been really confident and good about is my gut instincts about people, you know, my intuition and whatnot. And when I met you in person, I was just like, man, this dude's a cool dude. Like, I like this guy.
Appreciate it.
Like there's something about him, though, that I'm curious to know more. And sure enough, man, you reached out to me, which granted, you've helped several of my clients. I know several of our agents are using you, and nothing but good things to say. And you're well respected in our real estate industry, man. It seems like every time someone's looking for a moving company, I see every real estate agent tagging your name on it. So, yeah, man. So you're doing some good things. Mm-hmm. And I knew though that there was a story, some kind of story about you that I've been curious to hear. And sure enough, 2 weeks ago, you reached out and were like, hey man, can I help out with that back to school event that y'all are doing? Yeah. And I was like, yeah, man, let's, just donating a bunch of backpacks, get some stuff together. You showed up and we really had a chance to get to know each other. Right. And that's when I was blown away when you shared your story with me, because it was just like, whoa, like you went through all that.
You actually made it really pretty comfortable to talk about it though. Like, we're have that flow of the conversation where we just let it flow. We just let it flow. So I really don't tell many people about it just because of how people look at it. But it feels good to actually be able to tell someone who understands and still supports you in it. So,
for sure. And don't get me wrong, man. I didn't have an upbringing like you did. I mean, it makes me think like, damn, I had a spoiled life after hearing your story, which we're gonna get into. But at the same time, man, I had some struggles that I went through growing up, and especially in my early 20s. And so I was able to somewhat, in a way, relate to your story, because it's just like, man, I remember walking that path and I almost came into a situation that you went through, to where I'm just lucky and fortunate. But yeah, man, so let's just dive right into it, bro. Cool. Again, you've now had your company for how many years?
About 4 years now.
4 years now. So let's see, prior to 4 years, what were you doing?
I was in the Department of Corrections.
Yeah,
11 years and 6 months.
11, so almost 12 years in prison.
In prison, yeah.
Wow.
Big boy prison.
So at what age did you first go to jail?
I went to juvenile when I was like 14 years old.
14.
Yeah, my mom, it's kind of a tough situation. My mom was in prison my whole childhood. And then, she comes home and she gets all of her kids and put us in one household. And it's definitely a struggle because I was like the oddball. They all had the same dad. I had a different dad.
Oh, really?
He was her pimp. That kind of thing. So I had to struggle with it some, and then it was just rough. But prior to that, I had family who raised me. Everything was good. I was used to a good lifestyle.
Yeah.
And from that change to a change of coming into a mom who was coming out of prison and struggling, trying to do the best for her kids, but really still halfway into the street life, you kind of get neglected some. And then so it was a little bit more for me. I used to get like the beat downs, the extra hard hitting.
Damn. So correct me if I'm wrong. You said you had 7 siblings?
Yeah, total have 7. Yeah, it's 8 of us. It was 8 of us total.
8 total. Mm-hmm. Okay, so where do you fall in line as far as the age part? Are you one of the oldest, one of the youngest?
I'm the third to the youngest.
Third to the youngest. Mm-hmm. Wow, man. And so let's see here. Did you have an influence in your life, like a role model figure that you looked up to?
Honestly, it was more so like the streets, with the struggle of the household in like the ghetto, and you're going into the streets and you're like going to school and you see these guys along the way, and they're like looking out for you, like giving you money here and there, forcing you to go to school.
Yeah.
And so those are like your role models.
That's crazy, man. And I hear these things, you hear about these things on movies, but at the same time, like to actually like hear from someone saying like, no, yeah, my role model was someone on the streets that I either worked with or worked for.
Well, it's like that. It's like each one teach one. So if that's who you see and that's who's like doing things good for you or things you feel like are good, then that's what you're gonna run to. And they're being taught the wrong thing from somebody else. And they're just passing down what they know. They don't mean any harm by it. But they were just taught to sell drugs and you know, live that lifestyle, and they're just passing it on down to you, and it just keeps getting passed down.
Yeah. So if you don't mind me asking, what age did you start selling drugs at?
That's really kind of hard to say because I never can really say like I was really just selling drugs. I was
shots.
Yeah. Well, no. I was just like middleman, or you know, just doing as I was told, and then kind of graduated into doing more things. But I just had the hustler's mentality because I used to sell newspapers too. I used to do anything that I can do to make some money. I was doing it because I just had it in me that I didn't want to go back to my situation and being broke. I was living on the streets or you know, living in my car. But hey, you had a car was like a house back then for me. Like, I was mobile. I can go anywhere I wanted to, and it was just the love of the older guys in the streets that I thought was love. They was really steering me in the wrong direction, but it helped me get through a tough time where I was going through in my childhood when I had nowhere to go.
Yeah. Wow, man. So, you know, this a lot of this reminds me of one of my best friends, Brian, that man, I admire this dude, and I just hung out with him this past weekend, and you know, I've been friends with this dude since we were 19, I believe. And he has a very similar story. Never went to prison, but you know, he was forced to grow up at a young age. You know, him and his wife met each other at a young age. She was in a similar situation, and they both kind of just relied on each other. Never passed 7th grade. You know, he dropped out after 7th grade, and to see what he's done with his life for his family, and you know, he's a homeowner, has an amazing career with Boeing, and just to hear his story and see like how he's progressed over the years. Like me and him would get in a lot of trouble when we were younger, man. We did a lot of bad stuff.
The things you go through in your childhood.
Yeah.
Like I have a whole group of friends who we've all been to prison.
Yeah.
And we're all a successul business owners now.
That's amazing.
It's like 5 of us, but
that's amazing.
It's what you make of it.
Yeah.
You have to like change and be a better person for yourself.
Yeah.
You have to do it for yourself, not for anybody else.
Yeah.
It's a scary place down there for you to want to go back to.
Yeah, I would imagine, man. So let me ask you this. When you first got out, what was the first thing you ate? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
No? It wasn't something like, oh, I've been waiting to have this steak or this burger?
No. Actually, the first thing I ate was Whataburger, and I threw it all up. Because the food is completely different. Yeah. The food is completely different. And there's like, let's just say grits, for instance, they're so cold when you get us like a hockey puck. Like, seriously, it's bad. It's bad, yeah.
Damn.
So I threw it all up because my stomach just couldn't handle it all.
Wow, I never even thought of things like that, man. That's
crazy.
True. I can see that. I can easily see that because of what you are used to eating when you're locked up.
It's definitely an adjustment, though. Just, you know, being a 16-year-old boy walking into a grown man's prison, and, you know, the situation with drugs and all these things. You know, I got set up by my brother, you know, left some drugs in the car, got into a car wreck type of thing.
Yeah.
He ran, let me take the case.
Damn.
It was at the time where we were cleaning up the east side. So, you know, at the age of 16, I'm getting sentenced to 20 years in prison.
Damn.
And certified as an adult. So you have a 16-year-old boy walking into a grown man's prison. Wow. And you have no choice but to be a man. If you're not gonna be a man, you're gonna be somebody's girl. Yeah. Straight up.
Yeah.
You're gonna
so you had to prove yourself right away when you stepped in?
Yeah, I did have to prove myself and you know, fight, and everybody has to fight. I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
And you're not gonna win because they're gonna run you down the line of people until you get your ass kicked. It's just like that. You're gonna be humble.
Yeah.
You know, it's always somebody bigger and badder than you. So for me, I just had to go into it like I know I'm not gonna be in a gang. Yeah. And I don't know really too much about religion, and I had a lot of anger into me too because I felt like I didn't do what I was locked up for.
Yeah, you didn't belong there.
So when you walk into a situation to where you're like, I didn't do anything, I'm not supposed to be here, there's a lot of rebellion. Yeah. And I had the poor me mentality. It was always poor me. I'm not supposed to be here. Why are you doing this to me? This place sucks. And I really had to just like figure it out as far as
almost embrace it.
And you have to, exactly, you have to embrace it and the situation, no matter what situation it is, you have to embrace it and be like, you know what, I'm stuck here. I have to do a minimum of 10 years before I'm even eligible for parole.
Wow.
Like, so you're stuck for at least that. And it's like, so you have no vision whatsoever when you'll ever get out, if you'll ever get out, because there's nowhere in sight. So, you know, for the first year, maybe a little bit more, I was just rebellion, fighting, you know, just always poor me mentality.
Yeah.
And one day I ran into that guy, that one bad person who looked like he was nobody. And I
come to find out he was somebody.
Yeah, he whooped my butt all across the day room, gave me a black eye, everything. And it was an eye opener for me, because when you get a black eye or anything like that, you can't come out of the cell, because if they see it, you're gonna get a case, you're gonna get in trouble. So you hide. And so when you're hiding in that cell, that same person who kicked my butt was the same person who came and said, stop the poor me mentality. You're here. You're going nowhere. Yeah. Make the best of it. You know, I was 17 by the time, and it's like you get in school, you do something to better yourself. Yeah. I had no one sending me money, no one coming to visit, and no mail was coming through. Damn. That was for sure. I would stand at the door every day doing mail call, and knew I wasn't getting mail, but it still had that hope. Yeah. You know, and it never happened. And you know, you have to be able to like shut off all emotion. Yeah. You can't feel the emotion. You can't cry. If they see you crying, oh, they're gonna think he's weak. Yeah. You might have somebody running in your cell at night to, you know, it's real. It's, you know, rape is real down there, and murder is real down there. You see a lot of different things, and you're just forced to like be numb to it.
Yeah.
You have to
like
be numb to it.
It's like a mental toughness you have to establish.
You have to establish that. So just going from having that like poor me mentality just to embracing the prison life. Yeah. They don't give you like toothpaste and deodorant or things like that. You have to like have money sent in, or you just have to figure it out. Damn. So you have me sitting here knowing like, hey, I'm here. I'm not gonna have any money coming. What do? I have to hustle. Well, what are you gonna hustle? What are you good at? Well, I'm not really good at anything. I'm 17. Yeah. So just from going to a standpoint of just wanting to find a way to survive and find a way to fit in, because first of all, I'm from San Antonio. We're a minority as far as like, you know, like black people. Plus I'm not really good enough for the black people, because I'm mixed.
That's right. I remember you telling me.
Of course I can't hang with the Hispanics because I'm too, I can't hang with the Hispanics because I'm too black. Damn. So it's like, you have to find your way in there. Yeah. So me, I had to not only hustle, but I had to find a way to fit in fit in with everybody. So what do? You find a hustle that everybody needs you.
Create the demand.
You create it. You create the demand. So here I am with no money, no friends, nothing. I get a job in the kitchen. Wow. That's the job. There's food there. You can steal the food. You can go sell it to the other inmates for commissary that'll last longer, like toothpaste and deodorant. Yeah. And me, I take it to the next level. Anything I do, I take it to the next level. So I became the person with all the cheeseburgers. I went to culinary arts school. This is a whole thing. I did it so I can survive, but actually it helped me out because I actually got a degree. Wow. So I was doing it to survive, so I can hustle and make money. If you have a culinary arts degree, you're working in the kitchen the whole time. Well, kitchen is where all the food is. So I just got the culinary arts degree, worked in the kitchen, and I made myself needed for everything. I knew how to run the books. I would slaughter, cut, butcher meat. I would cook it. I can cook, bake, everything. So no matter what, they needed me at work. When you need me like that, then I have access to everything that other people don't. Well, when you have something that other people don't have access to, that turns over into you being needed. Yeah. So I didn't have to be in a gang. Wow. Because everybody needed me. Yeah. Everybody needed what I had because
they were kind of like left alone as far as like off limits.
I didn't have to, and believe it or not, like people will protect me. Like, hey, you're not gonna mess with him. We need him. Yeah. Yeah. They'll fight for me. So So I would hustle cheeseburgers. Even being a middleman, I was never actually the man doing anything. Yeah. I was just the middleman. Getting the food. Sometimes you get some cell phones in, and you make yourself available to people like that are in SEG. So you have a lot of gangs, and you have to earn the respect of everybody. You have to do things that you aren't supposed to do, but what do? Like you have no money coming in.
Yeah,
so
you have no other choice.
How are you gonna get toothpaste and deodorant? Yeah, it's either that or you can become somebody's girlfriend. They take care of you. Yeah. I'm not doing that. Yeah. So having to be forced into that situation, you have to learn how to be a man all on your own. You have to grow up quick. Yeah. And just fortunate enough, I was able to always like be around like a group of guys who were trying to do the right thing and were trying to like learn and become better people to be productive in society, because prison is no longer a rehabilitation.
Yeah.
They used to send you to prison to be rehabilitated and send you back out. But now it's just like zero tolerance. They don't offer like too many things to help you. So whatever is in there, you have to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
And what do we have? We all have each other.
Yeah.
So we learn from each other and people's experiences, and I have to be quiet and learn from everybody because I barely live in life.
Yeah.
I never lived life.
Yeah.
So everybody
grew up in prison.
Exactly. Wow. So everybody's experiences is teaching me and it's preparing me for when I come home. Damn. So I would literally lay in my cell after work all night. Sometimes I was in SED because I got in trouble, and you would just think all day and plan your future. So everything that I'm doing now, I literally manifested it in my thought.
Wow.
Everything, like from the problems to the the pros to cons, down to the truck I was gonna have.
Yeah.
I knew that I wanted a big truck with big rims.
Yeah.
I knew I was gonna do it all.
Yeah.
I didn't know how I was gonna do it, but I was gonna make it happen because I had the drive.
Yeah.
I had the drive to do it, and I went to school. I got these associate degrees there, and I just like every single day just knew that one day I was gonna come home, and that I was here. I had to be here no matter what. I was gonna be here, so I made the best of it.
Yeah.
I work every single day.
Yep.
7 days a week.
Yeah.
Because my work was beneficial. I made money from it. I was able to do things like somebody had a cell phone I can call home. I had like special privileges with the guards because they needed me.
Yeah.
And so I worked every day, 7 days a week, nonstop. And I would go from work to go work out in the gym and go to sleep. Do the same thing the next day.
Damn.
Did it every day. It just became routine that we do that.
Yeah.
It's carried over here. I do the same thing. No difference. So.
It's so crazy because, and it just doesn't, I'm not just referring to real estate, but at the same time, just any self-employed business or just being, managing and running your own business. When I've talked to brand new real estate agents that have gotten in the industry, and they always ask, like, what do you recommend for me? I always tell them, like, if you treat this, if all you've ever worked is a 9 to 5 and you treat this business like a 9 to 5, which I can tell you right now, 9 out of 10 real estate agents don't.
Right.
If you treat this like a 9 to 5, you will make a beautiful career for yourself. Mm-hmm. But the discipline, that's the hardest part, is having that discipline to treat your career like a 9 to 5. Especially after you start closing a couple deals here and there and start getting paid and seeing those wires hit your bank account, and you're like, I think I'm gonna take a trip. I'm gonna go on vacation. Oh, I'm gonna buy this car, and and then they start taking days off, and it changes, man. So I'm sure you can relate to that.
I can definitely relate to it, because for me, it's not about the money.
Yeah,
it's the sense of completion.
Yeah,
like each day in prison, you wake up, you go through a strict schedule. It's all there. If one thing goes wrong, it messes up the whole entire day. So you can't mess that day up. You can't have child time start late.
There's no calling
in. There's no calling. There's no calling in. So for me at my job, if I didn't complete the meat being cut or the books weren't done right and the food wasn't served at the right time, then it's gonna throw the whole day off. And then people aren't gonna get their showers or their recreation on time. And then that's when how riots start.
Yeah.
So and people get killed, people get beat up because somebody didn't get their food on time. It happens. You have a bunch of angry men all in one spot. So everything has to be, no matter what, it has to be done.
Yeah.
You're in the situation, you have to get it done no matter what.
Yeah.
So carry that over to everyday lifestyle out here.
Yeah.
Every single day, no matter how crappy the move is, no matter how crappy the customer is, or no matter how crappy you feel, you have to get it done.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't see it that way. It's like they want to call in, or they come to work with an attitude. You can't. I treat my customers just like I treat the prison guards.
Yeah.
You're not going to disrespect a prison guard. Why? There'll be consequences. They're going to kick your ass, or they're going to take all of your stuff.
Yeah.
And you have nothing. Well, I treat my customers the same way. I'm not going to disrespect you no matter how bad you disrespect me.
Yeah.
And by the end of that move, you'll know that, hey, this guy, I gave him a lot of crap, and he stayed true to himself.
And he kept it professional.
And kept it professional, because why? I don't want that bad review. I don't want that bad outlook. So
yeah.
Me holding my breath and not saying what I really think or what I really want to say, and staying in your good graces is cool.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing that you can say or do to me that hasn't already been done by somebody else. I've been through that. You can't hurt me because I've already been through that. I've already experienced that. And there's consequences when you get out of your character.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just maintain that vision. I treat every single customer in my head. I just treat them like a prison guard. Yes, sir. No, ma'am. Yes, I can. I will do.
Yeah.
Because like people are paying you for a service.
Yeah.
And you have to give them your best effort, no matter what.
Yep.
So it's the same thing.
Customer's always going to be right.
Customers, and if you tell them that they're wrong, you can't just tell somebody they're wrong and not give them a way out.
Yeah.
I say, this is how we do it.
Yeah.
And so that your way isn't the right way, but let me show you a better way. So if you're going to tell me, hey, you're wrong, don't just tell me, hey, you're wrong. Give me a way out.
Yeah.
And when you give me a way out and I can vision that way out, it's like, yeah, I'll side with you and I'll do that. It's like how you talk to people. And, you know, it's just, you have to like remain like calm through anything, and you have to like just understand you're in that situation.
Yeah.
You're not getting out of it. You're there.
That makes sense, man, because one of my clients, I don't know what you said, obviously you provided an amazing service, but she like ranted and raved about you, man. Like she was just like, I love that guy. He was so amazing. This is the one that you
moved out of state, right?
Yeah, moved out of state. And man, like I remember, because I think that was the first client I gave you, and I was just like, I followed up with her, and I was just like, how was that service for the move, you know? And she was just, she was going off about you, man. She loved you, and that's when I was like, okay, cool. Like,
but I like this guy. You know why though? Because you have to, when you're doing somebody's move, or you're doing even like a deal with you in real estate, you personally get to know someone. Yeah. You have to understand, like I'll ask questions and we have personal conversations, but I'm not doing it to have like a personal conversation with you. I'm doing it so I can learn what we have in common,
build that rapport,
and show that I can understand what you're going through or where you're coming from. And then when you take people from a place of like, you know, just strict business strangers, and you understand their wants, their needs, and their struggles, and you can relate, then they feel comfortable with you. Yeah. So you have to be able to connect with your customers in that way, because you are already walking into a situation where they're completely vulnerable. Yeah. I walk into divorce situations. I walk into people, you know, having a baby soon, or you know,
stressful moments.
People who are like leaving from like broken, toxic relationships, or getting beat. You know, things like that. You never know what you're walking into, and you always have to remain calm, personable, understand the situation, protect yourself, protect the customer. And when people see that you actually care that way, you don't even have to be the best mover in the world. You can suck. Yeah. But if you show care and concern, then that's what matters. Like that's all that matters.
It goes beyond just doing the job. It's
way beyond.
It's making that lasting impression on someone, and that's something that I preach in our office. You know, and so one thing I was curious about that I remember you telling me is that this guy that you first, or he wasn't the first, I don't think, but the guy that you got in a fight with that you referred to that kicked your ass, ended up being your role model in prison. Yeah. And so he's the one that got you in line and helped you start making like better choices and just figuring things out. So that way he helps set you up, I'm assuming, to when you get out, like you're after, like not afterlife, but
definitely started. And you know, it's a saying in prison, a little bit of an ass whooping brings a whole lot of understanding. Yeah, like you don't want to get your ass kicked again. That's what kind of like messes with me out here. Yeah, like there's no consequences for any actions for anything anybody does. Yeah, and if there was, they wouldn't act that way, or they wouldn't do these things. You have to have consequences for your actions. So, like I said, like a little bit of an ass whooping humbled me, and got that chip off my shoulder, and made me realize, like, hey, I do have to be here. Yeah. So make the best of it. Yeah. And just there was a lot of struggles throughout the time, a lot of things we go through. You know, being locked down and things are unfair. You know, you watch people. I saw people get murdered in prison. I had to go to SEG and for 2 years, where you're locked in a cell for 23 hours a day.
Damn. How do you not go crazy with that?
You do. I had a pile of ants in my cell that just so happened to come in from food being left. Yeah. And I bought a lizard for a bag of coffee.
Wow.
I can tell you anything you want to know about a pile of ants because I studied them every single day.
Wow.
Yeah. One of the most hurtful times in my time in prison is when they don't have air conditioning, but they do give you a fan. Yeah. My lizard was on the fan and his head got cut off in the fan.
Oh, shit.
It was like a death to me. Like, seriously. Like, no, but you appreciate things so small like that. Mm-hmm. Those things help me keep my sanity in a prison cell where you don't come out. Like, you don't come out. I've watched people say, hey, you have like cells and there's a window straight across. Say, hey, I'm going to kill myself. It's like, oh, man, stop playing. Yeah. And you watch him hang himself and die. And you come out of the cell and his tongue is just purple, hanging out of his mouth, like everything. You have to see that and ask yourself, should I do that too? Like,
it probably starts fucking with you, I would imagine.
I mean, you're in there, and it's so bad to where they have a shower inside of the cell that just turns on at a certain time where you don't come out.
Wow.
And then if they're short staffed, you're 1 hour you're supposed to get out, you don't get it. So then you're like trapped in this space with nothing but your thoughts.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't find something to think about, you're gonna go crazy.
Yeah.
There's no one to talk to. You can scream across the way and you have to scream all day, but no, you're stuck to your thoughts. And the lights go out at a certain time and you're in the dark and it's just you.
Yeah.
Well, you learn a lot about yourself when it's just you. Like, you know, out here we're busy all day, so we don't really learn much about ourselves. Yeah, here you have to learn a lot about yourself. So I learned a lot about myself and what I wanted in life and what I wanted to do. And I just thought about it every single day and planned it out. I thought about what could go wrong and what I would do. I thought about every single thing, and I just knew that I wasn't coming back here. It wasn't for me. I'm not supposed to be here, and I'm gonna do better.
Yeah.
You have to know that you want better for yourself, and you have to stick to it. You can't make a goal and say, "Oh, I'm gonna do this in this certain amount of time." No, it has to become everyday life.
Yeah.
I can be the same person with you as I can be with a millionaire, as I can be with somebody who's broke.
Yeah.
Why? Because I'm the same person, no matter what, day by day.
Yeah.
You have
so
to. Yeah.
Let me ask you, first off, how much in advance notice did you get when they told you, okay, you're eligible for parole, you're going to be getting out on this date? Like, how much in advance did you get notice of that? Or was it something like, hey, you're going to get out like this month?
Well, so you come up for parole, and you have a panel of 3 people who vote on you.
Yeah.
And
I'm curious to know your pitch too, because you have to make a pitch, right, as to why you feel you're better for society now.
Well, okay, so I had like people who supported me, you know, like who in getting out, but you do have to put on for yourself. So I had my aunt. She didn't talk to me for like probably my whole time in prison.
Wow.
Because she was so disappointed in me, and she knew that I could do so much better with life.
Yeah. That
she kind of shunned me a little bit. But when it was time for me to get out, she showed up, spoke a piece about me. But then it's what I did too. Yeah. I got degrees and associate degrees and all of these like on-the-job trainings, and my behavior wasn't the best in there, but I did all of the things they asked to do, and you get into these programs that help you get out. Well, so by me having like drug charges, also they send me to a program for drug treatment. It's just a thing. Yeah. And if you tell them you do drugs versus sell drugs, they'll put you in a treatment program so you can get out and be productive and not be a drug addict anymore. Yeah. So I went to that program and actually learned a lot, and it kind of prepared me for getting out. So you have me, going through all of these things, all these hardships of being alone and doing all this time by myself, no family there for you. Like, it was tough. Yeah. But I became the most independent person ever because I didn't need anybody. Yeah. I came home from prison day one. I started working day one. Wow. Because I kept my routine from prison. Work 7 days a week, go work out, go to sleep, and do the same thing the next day. So I haven't done anything differently from what I did in prison. Yeah. The only thing is I'm getting paid for it. Yeah. That's the only difference.
So tell me about that time that when you found out, okay, so you went to your hearing, you stood in front of these 3 people, and do they give you immediate, like, do they grant you immediate? Is it something like, okay, we approve, or is it we'll let you know?
They make you sweat.
Really?
And they usually make you sweat for like 2 weeks to 30 days. They made me wait like 4 months. Yes. So every day I'm like, just sweating, like, is it gonna be my day to know? Yeah. And then when they tell me, I don't get right out. They tell me I have to do a 6-month program. Yeah. So it prolonged it even more. Damn. And it was just like, oh.
But at least you saw the light at the end of the tunnel.
I saw the light of day. I actually couldn't believe it, because looking back where I started off, it was like, God, like, I never thought I would see this day. Yeah. And it just feels good to be able to just work. I love to be able to work. I'm happy to work. It feels good that I can work and get paid, because I did it for free for so long. Yeah. I worked for free for so long, and I'm actually getting paid for it now. So it's that much more of a motivation. Yeah. And man, just being able to tap into the real estate industry. I've met so many people, so many great people like yourself, and people who actually believe in me. Yeah. And they wouldn't even know that I spent the day in prison.
I had no clue, man. I had no clue until you told me.
That's all about how you carry yourself.
Yeah, and that's true. I firmly believe that. It's all about how you carry yourself.
They ask me in my military. I just say yes sometimes, because I just say yes.
That would have been my first guess, to be honest, especially San Antonio. Like, the way you carry yourself, your posture, everything clean cut. Like, I would have thought military, man. Yeah. So someone's asking, and this is something I know we're bound to talk about at some point. Earlier this weekend, you have 7 company trucks, right?
Right now 6 to
6.
Yeah.
And one was stolen over the weekend.
Oh man, yeah.
So one was stolen over the weekend. I know you started pushing it on social media, like, hey, keep an eye out. Someone just asked if you were able to find it, and
I found it. I appreciate everybody who said something. It was definitely an ordeal.
Yeah.
Kind of one I got a little out of character for, but we found it a little bit of a high speed chase and a couple drastic moments that I wasn't really comfortable with. But so when you work that hard for something that you come from a place of you come from a place of having nothing, and then somebody comes to take
something from you.
Yeah, and I've been in the opposite position before. Position where I've taken from people at a younger age, not really knowing like what it does when you take something that somebody worked hard for, and you don't know what it feels like until somebody does it to you. Yeah, and you have something taken from you, and then like you don't want to be that person to make someone else feel like that. Yeah. So now if somebody takes something from me, like, nah, it's not happening, bro. It's personal, because I treat everybody like good. Like anybody can come to me. You can ask anybody for anything like that. I would do anything I can for anybody. And so to have somebody to come and take from me, I kind of it didn't bother me at first until I didn't get it back for a while, and then I was like, all right.
That's mine.
Yeah, it's mine.
I can relate and agree to that, man, because I remember, like I said, when I was younger and making bad choices, man, I was in the racing scene when I was younger. And so the thing that me and my friends would do is we would go break into cars, we would break into auto shops, and we would strip cars, and I remember there was this one car that was well known in the city that we had our eyes on for a while that we ended up stripping. It was in an auto shop. We found out it was in an auto shop, and sure enough, we stripped it. And I've always believed in karma, and I knew in that moment at that time I wasn't doing the right thing, but at the same time it was kind of like in that moment I felt like I had nothing to lose, and I'm sure you can relate to that. And so sure enough, that karma came back and bit me in the ass, man, because my car got stolen. Like probably a year or two later, I was at the bar and I was walking out, and it's like, wait a second, there's another car in this parking spot. My car was parked here, and sure enough, my car got stolen. And that feeling of knowing that something was taken from you, even when they found it, I was like, I don't want it back. I don't want it back.
You just want you feel like the pit of your stomach. Yeah. So I never want to make anybody feel like the way that I felt. So just being a good person is too easy. Just doing the right thing is too easy. If I put all that energy that I put into doing the wrong thing, into doing the right thing, and the results are way different. It's way easier.
See, I feel like you and I relate also in that aspect, because I think that we both come from a place of where when we meet someone, we immediately start with giving them respect. Oh yeah, right. For sure. And I think that oftentimes we'll get tested, or we'll come across someone that takes advantage of that, or takes advantage of that moment to where either you're looked at as soft, or you're looked at as like, oh, he's like, just a fool.
Or too much. Like that's I've run into that problem a couple times when I don't do like the whole like social media thing. I'm not really that great. I'm not that great at that. I'm more so when I was sent to prison.
Actual interaction.
Yeah, when I was sent to prison, we only had pagers and beepers at that time. Yeah. And you don't have any of that in prison. I mean, well, you can get it, but it's illegal. Yeah. So you have to talk to people to get to understand them face to face and how it should be. But when you're doing it with social media and you have these people who, let's say, aren't really about that life. And they're like bullying you and talking crap to you, but like they would never say that to you in person. That's kind of hard to deal with when you come from a place where there's consequences from your actions. So there's no consequences for these actions when people are like behind computers and stuff like that. And it's like, it's hard to hold that in, but it's the way of the world now. You have to accept that people are going to talk about you. You have to accept that you're going to be put on a pedestal. And if you do something wrong, like people are going to like say something about it. Like, and it doesn't matter how many great things you've done. Yeah, there's always someone that's waiting for you to screw up. Exactly. And that's the unfortunate part. I never told you this, man. And I'll tell you now, when I remember after we started using you for our clients in Shift Talk, which just so y'all know, in case some of y'all aren't aware, Shift Talk's a Facebook group for all the real estate agents in the industry. So oftentimes you'll see recommendations in there and whatnot. So anyway, someone posted asking for a moving company recommendation. And of course I tagged your name, and I saw all these people tagging your name. And so someone reached out to me and was like, AJ, be careful with him and blah, 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 saying all this stuff.
and had nothing to do with your business. It was anger, but it had nothing to do with your business. It was more about like your personal life. And all I kept thinking to myself was, this is the one and only time that I've heard someone say something about you in that manner, to where I was just like, who am I? I'm not going to judge him off of that. Like, I'm going to judge him based off of my own experience with him. And then also being able to relate to that situation to where it's like, man, I got a lot of haters out there, you know? And so for every hater I got out there, though, I got 10 people that love me. And so I kind of looked at it as like, you know what, thank you. But at the same time, I know that people talk shit about me too. So at the same time, it's just, I got more people surrounding me with love and care than I do with haters.
You're not going to be like, you're not going to be for everybody. The way you carry yourself is not going to like make everyone happy, but you have to just stay true to yourself. I stay true to myself. And for me, you have to keep in mind too, that going from 16-year-old boy, you know, fast forward 11 years later, not many, you know, relationships, friendships, anything in life. I was not only pushed into a society of prison trying to be a man as a little boy. Now I'm being pushed back into society as a convict, you know, and not many life experiences. So the age that I am, and
being thrown into social media world,
and business, all of that, you know, business, social media, like, you know, parole, you know, reporting 5 times a week to parole. It was hard. Classes, you know, you have to do all of these different things. You have to be numb. You can't have feelings towards it because you have parole, you can get violated and go back. You know, you have business, you can be looked on, you know, on that, and all these new things that I've never experienced before. They put you into society, and you just have to like learn it just like that. So I hadn't experienced things like, you know, going out and going to clubs or you know, women or anything. It's like I'm just pushed into a world of openness and no structure. So it's still been a learning process adjusting to society. Like I have been institutionalized for a long time, and I'm just now coming out of it, but being institutionalized is a real thing. PTSD is a real thing.
I believe that.
And I used to frown on people with like depression or PTSD and things. I'm like, no, you just get up and you do it. No, but it's actually a real thing. And so when I walk into a place, I'm like, hey, can I use the bathroom? They look at me crazy. It's like, well, it's just what I'm used to. You have to ask before you have to ask to do everything. And just learning society and learning people, learning friends, and you know, it's just different. It's just a whole different world out here from coming to a place where you're just surrounded by a bunch of swinging peepees all over the place. Literally 100-man shower. Everybody, that's all you see. Like, so you coming out here to a brand new place, and you're learning people and learning things, and people expect you because of your age to be mentally there. But honestly, I was like trapped in that 16-year-old body. I mean, the mind, or coming out here learning that, and it's like everything is new. Everything is new, even from the food. You know, going to these different places. None of this was here when I was out, and I wasn't even old enough to experience.
That's true, man. The city's grown.
It's grown. It's crazy. Like even like downtown, the Pearl used to be like the prostitute and that thing down there, and like crackheads and everything. And now it's just,
you're like, wait, why?
Like, what is this?
Austin people.
Like, what is this? And so it's definitely an adjustment. Just learning life and what society is about. Man, it's just learning life and what society is about. It's an adjustment, and I'm adapting to it at the same time while I'm starting up a business, and my business took off so quickly that it's so overwhelming that like sometimes you just have to think to yourself, like, God, like, what am I doing? Like, is it worth it? Like, but it is, because I'm doing a great job at it, obviously. And, I'm successful. I have that sense of completion, so I'm doing all of these great things, but like still I haven't even sat down to really understand what this new life is about. Like, it's a tough situation to deal with.
Let's talk about your business a little bit, man. When did you start Just in Time Moving? Because I know you got out, you said 4 years ago. Did you start it right away, or did you start working for someone right away?
I started working for another moving company, not even a month, and I'm like, learned the tricks of it. I was getting them great reviews. Like, what? Okay, this was it. Like, this was it. This is what I'm gonna do. So I just signed myself up on a couple of platforms where I need like labor services only. So just me and another guy doing labor services, and just being able to first tap into like the real estate industry. It just took one person to use me. Pass the name on, and I caught like a fire under that. Like,
yeah.
Okay, this is where it's at.
This is where it's at.
Instead of getting just customers, if I tap into like the real estate industry, and then COVID happened also, so not many people were working, but I was willing to work, never took a day off. So I have all of the agents using me, and I'm giving them great deals on their moves. But I'm like, hey, you have to shout me out on Shift Talk. Hey, I'll do it super cheap. You have to shout me out, because me, it wasn't about the money.
Yeah,
it's like your name is respected.
Yeah.
So I would rather get your shout out, your name, you putting me out there, and you're respected. So people are like, oh, if AJ recommends him, then hey.
That's
and
smart.
there's a lot of realtors, a lot of people in the industry who have given me chances to move not just their clients, but their own personal moves.
Yeah, their stuff too.
Oh, when I do their personal moves, like, oh yeah.
Yeah, man, I believe it, man. Because I see, it's like every day I see your name being tagged of like either they used you or their client used you, and I'm like, man, this dude's all over the place.
Well, it's because for them it's not about the money. It's like you have to look at longevity.
About the service.
It's about the service. You have to look at longevity. Me giving you a couple $100 off of your move is nothing to me, because like I'm doing the job anyway, and the money will follow when you do a good job.
Yeah.
But I can give you a couple $100 off, show you that my guys are going to do great. But even though it's nothing to you, you're just giving a post on Facebook or a post on Instagram. That means way more than money to me.
For sure.
Because it's putting me out there, and for other people to know I'll do great. So I just caught like a reaction off that.
Yeah.
Working with apartment locators who pay for their clients' moves, and the referral process. I'm a review chaser.
Yeah.
I almost make my customers leave a review. I make it uncomfortable for them. I'm like, hey, here's this link, press on that link, because that means more to me than the money, because the money will follow. You can't be too focused on the money. I mean, the money's good. You get to do all these great things with it, but you won't make the money if you're only worried about the money.
Yeah.
On that, I'm pretty sure there's deals you've had where you had to like cut some commission.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, you cut
There's
that
deals
commission.
I've had to remove my whole commission because I just wanted to do the right thing.
But how many people did that person refer you to?
Oh, for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, those are usually the ones that will give you the most referrals because they truly appreciate it.
Yep, they appreciate it. Even on like jobs where something goes wrong, which it rarely does, but if something does go wrong and there's any possible way it can be me or my guy's fault, I'll accept it. Because once the customer sees I'll accept fault for anything that went wrong, they'll feel more comfortable about.
That's true, man.
And
that you own it.
Yeah, own it. Owning your mistakes is, owning your mistakes is key.
Yeah.
If you try to go defend a mistake and they know you're wrong, there'll be no understanding.
And a lot of people, they don't understand that. A lot of people, when they make a mistake, they won't own it. And that's one thing I've been big on. That I'm really big on within our brokerage is I'll own when I make a mistake. And I'll address it. And at the end of the day, I think that's where I gain a lot of the respect from the agents is by owning my mistakes. And there will be times, I'm sure, that you've owned a mistake for one of your employees that you didn't necessarily feel you're responsible for, but at the same time,
every day, because it always falls on you.
Yeah, but it always falls on you.
Where I had to switch things up and learn from is I would do that all day for my customers.
Yeah.
Accept it, but I wouldn't do it for my employees. So I had to start doing what you just said.
Yeah.
I had to go to my employees and it's like, hey, I made this mistake. Let's do better off of it. Learn from me, because I'm not perfect. Sharing
those mistakes.
Because I moved into all this so fast that I kind of lost track of like my guys.
Yep.
So, and I was like very lenient with them, kind of let them do what they want to do. Once I became more of a strict boss, no friendships. Hey, let's get this job done. Then I was respected, but then I also understood them. Like, what do you need to be okay? What are you going through in life? How can I accommodate you so you can accommodate me? And once I started doing those things for my guys, they all bought into my vision. And now when we get to a job that's too hard or is, not a good job or it's a real bad situation, they're humble and they do it because they understand my vision. But they understand my vision because I understand their wants and their needs and what they're going through. So it's like, you scratch my back, I scratch yours.
Exactly.
And then also, a lot of moving companies only pay $15, $17 an hour. I pay my guys all $24 an hour.
Wow.
So so they're well compensated
and
for their time.
You'll keep that loyalty too.
You keep that loyalty. So that's why I'm able to have, 15 plus employees on any given day because they know that they're going to get paid well. They know that I'm going to take care of them, and they know that if something happens to where they have to work late, I'm going to make sure they're all the way compensated for it. I've helped people get apartments, cars. Like all of my guys, I helped some of them get cars. I helped mostly all of them get apartments.
That's a rewarding feeling in itself too.
Because it doesn't mean anything to me. Like I just moved a customer to Oregon.
Yeah.
And the move was like, so let's say $13,000. Well, she gave me a car to take off the cost of the move.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't lose any money for it. Like,
yeah.
I just didn't make any money, but I broke even. But I got a 2018 Ford Focus.
Wow.
So what do I do with it?
Oh, you were telling me about that.
Yeah, literally free. So I don't need it. I have 2 huge trucks. I can help somebody else.
Yeah.
But when I'm helping them have a car to get their family around, they're helping me by having a way to work and do things. So it's like you take care of each other. And when they see you're willing to go the extra mile for them, they'll do it for you. They buy into your vision.
For sure.
And like they know my struggles. They know what I've been through. And sometimes I struggle now because it's hard, you know, dealing with coming from prison and all of these things. But if they see me slipping, they protect me too.
Yeah.
If they see I'm having like a bad day, which we all have bad days.
Yeah.
They like, hey, we got this.
Yeah.
Where at first it was like, no, I had to be strong for everybody.
Yeah.
But if you allow somebody to help you and be strong for you, they'll do it. But you have to be willing to allow them to. You can't just be closed off boss and you're boss and you're my subordinate. No. You have to humble yourself to your employees because it's like it's like a brothership. You know?
I agree.
Yeah.
It's so true. So let me ask you, man. Okay, so I would say about a little over, right under 4 years, you started your company. You now have 7 vehicles or 6 moving trucks. Did you buy all of them at once? Did you gradually how did that work out? Because bro, you're like growing fast.
Well, so this is the thing. Like I have the type of mindset where it's like I put everything back into the business because I know it's gonna make money. Mm-hmm. Like it's like my first truck paid like almost $40,000 for it. Like I saved all that money up, and it just so happened I got a lot of moves back to back, a lot of big moves. I'm like, you know what? I found this moving truck. No longer renting U-Hauls, no longer truck and trailer. I'm going to get this truck. Yeah. When I got that truck and got my logos on it and how it popped out,
I can imagine how that felt.
It became addictive. Like, oh yeah,
gotta give me another truck.
Gotta get another one. So within like 6 months, I got 3 of them. Damn. I just learned the smarter way to get them. They wouldn't give me any financing because I never had any credit.
Yeah.
That's true. I was in prison. I never had any credit, and of course, like I had a kid, so I had child support that back pay for 10 years. Damn. I was in debt, so. You have to figure out ways around it, but it's good because I don't owe anybody any money.
That's good.
I didn't finance any of the trucks. I own every single one of them, and like it's just addicting to keep on buying more trucks. So you may spend $30,000. Yeah, you may spend $30,000 on it, but it's gonna make you money. Versus like how you say some people in the industry they get these checks and they go buy these cars and take these trips. That's not bringing any value back to you or your businesses. And what are you gonna do when it slows down? Like maybe how it is now, slowing down a bit. Well, is what you don't have any money because you didn't save it. You didn't have any money because you didn't save any. And when it was just business for everybody, then it was cool. But now it's the people who took care of their clients the right way, who kissed their asses and made sure they were good because they're paying you for a service. And it's the people who you treat good around you. You know, when you do those type of things, when it does get slow, you're gonna be the first one they choose. But when it's like money for everybody out here, how it was in that market, and everybody's making money no matter how crappy you were, then it's like, that was all good then. But now it's starting to.
It's funny, man, because I'm seeing it now too in our industry as this market's starting to tighten up. Is I've been pushing and preaching these classes I do for the industry for the past almost 5 years now of how to grow your business through referrals. And, with the past 5 years, it's been very just deals falling on agents' laps, and so now that the market's shifted, now everyone's like, oh, let's focus on referrals. Let's focus on our database. And it's like, because money's tightening up as we're doing less and less deals. Man. So you're right. I mean, I can relate to that. And at the same time, but it's true, man. And I agree with you too, because oftentimes, now with me having the brokerage, I get people telling me whether it's picking up a tab or something, they're like, oh, you make money, you own a business. And I'm like, if you only knew the struggles, I talked about it last week, my income, which I knew and I planned and I prepared for it. I didn't really think it was going to happen until it actually happened with my income dropping. But man, I went from 2021 making right under 400,000 to 2020 COVID year right under 400,000 to 2021 where it's like, bro, I barely broke 60,000 But that's also because I didn't focus on my production. I focused on growing the brokerage and then reinvesting and putting all this money into the business and the brokerage, hiring this person and bringing on this now I got expenses that are ridiculous monthly for the business. So it's constant reinvesting to where it's like, I ain't rich, right? Like I'm confident I'll get there one day because it's for the long run. But at the same time,
that's how I was taking with me, because I'm so like carefree with money. I mean, I care about money, but then I don't care. For me, it's the completion of the job, and I know the money will always follow. So I don't mind doing things like sponsoring events, or like the backpack thing. It feels good to be able to do things like that. Not to say it's easy just to give the money away, for sure. But like when you do things like that, it always comes back. So I'll sponsor a little something here and there because it feels good to do those things. But also, you're gonna recognize my name. You're gonna know the name. And I get that a lot of times too. People are like, oh, you got money, you making money. I'm like, you don't know where I came from. I came from a prison cell with no money. Like literally a soup, a ramen noodle soup was money,
Shit.
So that was a privilege. That was a privilege. To have toothpaste was a privilege. To be able to walk outside and smell fresh air was a privilege. So to be here and to be doing this with these numbers and making this type of money, it's I can go either way. I can have nothing and be okay and work hard, or I can have everything like I do now and still be the same person. Like it doesn't mean anything to me. At the same time, it means everything to me. So it's just hard to think about money and only be worried about money because we want all these nice things. You worry about doing the great job. You worry about taking care of your people, and the money will always be there. So I can go and help my guys out. Get one of my guys a car so him and his family can be okay. Do things like that with the confidence of knowing that more money is coming because the good job is always there.
Exactly. You're laying a foundation, man. And that's how I seen it. When I started this brokerage, is laying a foundation. The money will eventually follow. But at the same time, right now, it's time to tighten up on things, and be very frugal. But at the same time, I got to reinvest the money that is coming in to help build this brokerage, grow the brokerage, help the agents, so that way I'm putting everybody in front of me first instead of myself. And I also think that that's what also helps us keep ourselves humble, right? Because think about it, man. If we were one of those business owners that were just like, any money coming in, it's like, oh, I'm taking off. Hell no. Bro, our business wouldn't be it wouldn't be sustainable.
It's like I told you in the Bible, in Ecclesiastes, there's a time and season for everything under heaven, a time for everything. So now is the season for growth. Like for me, I'm in the season of like review chasing, clout chasing. I want to do a good job for everybody, even if I take a loss on money, because I want my name to be known. But now I'm more firm on my prices now. But because you built yourself up to a certain point. But there's different seasons to it. So you're just in like that season.
That's what's crazy, man. I'll tell you, before you, I've never seen a moving company that has been able to build a reputation so quickly in our industry like you have, man. Like it seems like I said, every real estate agent knows you or has heard about you. And to build a business so quickly that way I'm assuming without having an actual professional business coach.
I just know how.
Very impressive.
I just know how it works. So of course I'm like suck ass on the admin side. And I'm struggling to keep up with that side.
Got our weaknesses.
I'm struggling. So now
hire and delegate.
So now I'm having help with the admin side, but the hard work is gonna be there. But it is because I don't take you guys for granted. There's a lot of agents out there who use me for their clients who I don't even know. I just moved a guy yesterday. He's like, oh yeah, I just saw you on Shift Talk. I'm like, what? You're off Shift Talk? I was like, oh my God, we were like 30 minutes late. Sir, I'm so sorry. But that's just how I feel about the real estate industry. Like you guys may feel like that, like, oh, that's one of the only good movers out there. We need to keep him, because I get a lot of apologies when clients aren't great from their real estate agents. I'm like, no, like I need you. Without you, there is no me. Like it's us. We're together. Like I don't feel like that. I'm better than anybody. Like I feel like that we all work together.
Amen.
Everybody has their own trade. You can't do everything. You have to let each person do what they're good at, and if you can't be a jack of all trades because you're a master at none.
Yeah.
You know, so you have to let each person practice their trade. Like for my trucks for example, I can wash my own truck.
Yeah.
But I have somebody who does it because that's his trade.
Yeah.
So it's like that's how you keep the money circulating and people making money. And
True.
And so you have to like know that, like AJ, you're a real estate agent. You have the potential to send me so much business.
Yeah.
And you're like, hey, Justin, my client needs a mover, a good mover. I need somebody to make me look good for my client. We need each other. Like it's not that you can think you're better
for sure,
because you're on this platform of everybody recommending you. And you have to stay humble with it.
Yeah.
Like I need you guys, and sometimes you need me. It's simple as that. So I take care of you like you take care of me.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't even make money off the people you send me.
Yeah.
You're not even making no money off the deal. People who are saying my name on these platforms, they're not getting anything from it.
They're not wanting anything.
Yeah, they're not
as long as you're
anything.
taking care of the people, that's all that matters, man.
So, but when it's time for your move, when you've been shouting me out all this time, I'm not going to forget that.
Yeah.
I'm going to take care of you the way you took care of me.
Yep.
Yeah. And people don't expect it, but I force it.
Yeah.
Because I need you to know that.
I know you took some heat, right, when you were recommending my name for something.
Oh yeah. No, that was pretty bad, man. It's hard for me to recommend any real estate agent. So I pull up to your move is going out of state. It's some thousands that you helping me make.
Yeah.
So I'm just like trying to show some support. Like, oh, here's his sign right here. Like, oh man, I got so many people like, oh, you shouted AJ out and not me. Like, how dare you? I immediately like, hey, I'm sorry. Like, I'll never do this again. I'll just show you. I'll show you support in private. Like, there's just so many of y'all,
I get
man.
it, man. It's funny because there is a lot of real estate agents out there like that will probably say that. Like, oh, how come you're not throwing me love? You should throw him love.
But I love all of the agents that use me. Like, man, it's like I've built so many relationships with so many like agents, male, female, older, younger, it doesn't matter. Like people help me and they support me and they appreciate me. And that's a good feeling because I came from a place of zero appreciation. You work and you do what you're supposed to do, and that's the end of it. There's no appreciation. That's your job. You do it. So to feel appreciated, like for the things that I'm doing by these people who just want to see me do good. And before this, probably nobody knew my situation of me being like locked up and stuff. But to be appreciated by these people is my motivation to do a better job. To do a good job. If I have a person who's always consistently shouting me out and then I go do a move for them, I'm like, oh man, I have to do a great job on this job and make that person look good because they referred me. You have to do that. You have to give your best and do the best for the people who support you. And it's just that you want to be great. Right?
You want to be great. You want to be the best version of yourself.
But I don't have to like try extra to be great because you referred me. I'm going to be the same every day. So it's easier in a way. But I try to make sure I take care of everybody, man. Everybody, man. There's a lot of people out here. Man. I don't want to say no names in particular because somebody's gonna get mad.
Someone will come in and say my name.
Yeah, man. Hey, bro. Everybody like shows me love, and I'll go through situations sometime, and I'll be texting some of these people back, and they know me. They know how I text, and they're like, "Are you okay?" Just by that, like, because everybody helps me out, everybody refers me, and they communicate with me, and they can tell by the way I text or answer back if I'm doing okay or not. So. Some of these people have actually like they don't know, like I'm going through the struggles in my head of being a convicted felon, coming out of prison. They don't know this is what I'm really going through. But I'm going through the struggles of maybe like me being at a job. My parole officer was saying, "Hey, you need to report right now and take a drug test." I know I'm clean, but it's like me having to leave, and it's just the whole sense of possibly being in trouble. And people don't know what I'm going through, but they can tell I'm not my normal self, and they'll just say something to give me the motivation I needed to pick myself up and continue pushing forward. So without even knowing it, you have helped me, by saying a word to the right to me, you have helped me become a better person and be better for that day. And that's the relationships we build in this industry with each other.
For sure.
Like we all deal with each other so much that you start to like know each other personally, and you get to be there for that person, and that is something that I've never had before.
I agree.
Period, in my life, from
That's
family
amazing.
or anything. So having that support from the industry and people in the industry who just really, really support me is something that doesn't just help me in business. It helps me in my personal life and my personal struggles. And that right there is just something that like that money can't buy. So when it's time to help other people out, the only way I have to help you back out is, hey, I'll come and mount your TV. Hey, I'll come and help you with, this small project, you may have some junk needs to be removed. I can come and help you with those things because you don't know what you did for me in that moment. Like I was struggling mentally, hard. Like I'll struggle hard sometimes. I've come to you a couple times. Yeah. I'll just message you out of the blue. Yeah. You don't know, like I'm hurting inside. I'm like, I'm hurting inside and I don't show it because I'm like trained to be numb. Yeah. I'm trained to show no emotion.
To bottle it all up.
I'm trained to bottle it all up. Yeah. So like, I may come to you and I know you're going to give me a word to the right. Yeah. I know you're going to tell me something positive. Yeah. So without even knowing it, you just uplifted my spirits and gave me the courage I needed to keep on pushing.
That's what it's about, man.
That's what it's about.
Yeah, there's a funny comment in here. Clarissa Gamboa, she goes, "Is it just me or does Justin's voice sound exactly like Common?" Have you been told that before?
Nah.
You do actually. Now that she says that, I mean, we got a bunch of people that's been watching, man. But yeah, man, it's just to see all these people that are showing you love on here. It's amazing, man. Like it's so cool to see. Like. And that's what I'm saying, man. Like you're onto something here. You're onto something that I've never seen before from a moving company. And as a business owner that's not directly working for a real estate company or in, like a realtor or anything like that, you're onto something here that it's really cool to see, man, because it makes sense why your business is flourishing because and growing the way it is because I mean what you're about, what you stand for, and your beliefs as to how to conduct business, how to carry your business, and how to treat others. That just goes to show why you're experiencing what you're experiencing right now with your business. That's amazing.
It's some growing pains with it because sometimes people take it your willingness to help and your willingness to be there. Oh yeah. Some people take it for granted, and some people definitely take it out of context because. Yeah. But it's because that's something that people aren't used to. Yeah. People aren't used to somebody being so willing and so accommodating to help that they're kind of offended because they're not used to that. They're used to people wanting to do things and wanting to help out with something in return.
What's going to favor them?
Money, whatever. Like, but it's not. It's not like that with everybody. You have to understand. Some people just genuinely care and just want to help, and that willingness to help. Sometimes can be my best friend and it could be my worst enemy because then I'll kind of like overpromise a little bit. Yeah. And then, so it's just different situations, but like a lot of people need to understand like people do things because they want to be good people.
For sure.
I can, like I said, I'll understand your personal situation, understand your struggles, understand what your cans and what you can't do. Yeah. I'm going to accommodate because I'm going to do the best job possible. When I start your move, I'm going to like, analyze everything. Yeah. And even things you don't say, I see they're wrong. I like to take care of everything. So when I leave, you're good. Like there's nothing that needs to be done. So having a person set up for success is key.
For sure.
So when you're doing a move and you leave, you want to have them set up for success. You want to assemble their furniture. They can't do it themselves. You want to mount their TV. You want to make sure everything is good before you leave. And so you over accommodate in doing that. And just sometimes it's just like
succeeding that expectation, not just meeting.
And people aren't used to you succeeding expectations. So sometimes it's taken wrong as far as like because people aren't used to somebody going above and beyond for them. And more people should be that way. Instead of just everybody being so selfish and just only wanting to take for themselves. Like if I give you 100%. And you give me 100%, then we're always gonna stay fulfilled. Yeah. But if I'm steady taking from you and taking from you and taking from you, well, eventually your cup is gonna run dry and I'm gonna be overflowing.
That's true.
So you have,
that's very true. And it's good that you're able to identify that, man, because I've been able to identify that in people where it's like, you know what, I'm gonna give my all, I'm gonna help this person in any way I can. And then if they take advantage of that, it's like, that I'm gonna turn that faucet off at some point.
How many times does that happen to you before you change who you are?
Yeah. That's very true.
And that's the thing. I won't change. Yeah. It doesn't matter how many people screw me over. Yeah. It doesn't matter how many times I trust somebody and they maybe take advantage of it a little bit. Yeah. I'm not going to change who I am as a person because then you're letting that person win.
Yep. And get the best of you.
You're letting them get the best of you.
And then you have your doubters saying, I knew he would fuck up.
Yep. That's how it is. So like, I don't change it even though I may get screwed over. You have to stay true to who you are. I only grow and elevate who I am as a person. Yeah. You learn from your experience and you learn to read the signs, like how you say you're a good reader of people. Yeah. You learn to read the signs of somebody doing things and you just take things for what they are. But you don't change who you are because of the things you've been through. Because then that takes away from the essence of life. You're changing who you are to accommodate somebody else, or you're changing who you are because the fear of the same thing happening again, but then you're not staying true to yourself.
That's true, man. So many people live with that too. So many people live with that. They've been fucked over and they take it out on everyone else.
And I'm like, hey, it wasn't my fault they did it to you. I'm the good person, you know?
I'm trying to help.
I'm trying to help. Like, it's not my fault that they came and charged you $6,000 for this.
For real.
Like,
Mike Keeter, he's actually my old business coach. He has a question for you. He says, what will you do different in your mind this year that you didn't do last year? Is there anything that you're doing or planning on doing to finish this year strong, and it could be about business or personal, right? But that you didn't do last year?
Oh yeah, for sure. So this year has been all about going from a smaller business mindset to a bigger business mindset.
Now that you see the potential.
Now that I see that using like the Google Calendar isn't working anymore. I have a guy working on me, working on my app and the website where it's easier to book. So now we're just taking it from a small business mindset to big business mindset. Like I have my guys doing check-in sheets on the truck, and I've hired people to do jobs that I shouldn't have to do anymore. Like scheduling, or because I was doing everything. I had to have my hands in everything because it had to be perfect. It had to be done right. I had to be the best. And I feel like nobody was going to do it like me, but now I'm having to learn to trust people to do jobs that I shouldn't have to be doing, like making sure the trucks have gas, or making anything. So I'm like pushing towards hiring people to do these things and take the stress off my back, because I was just stressed out, doing everything all in one day.
I can relate to that, man, because as I've been doing that and delegating people in positions where my weaknesses are at, I've been noticing a sense of relief to where it's like, okay, now I'm a little bit more clear-headed, more level-headed, where I get to focus on where I flourish, right? Whether that's training, script practice, role playing with the agents, and just focusing on interviewing and growing our brokerage versus dealing with things like, we can't sign into this, or we're having the internet's not working in the office right now.
And I was doing things like that, like worrying about the supplies being on the truck, or worrying about like if the job, needing to go to every single job to make sure it was done correctly.
Dang, man.
Like literally it was like I was like a psychopath with it, man. Just everything had to be good. If something goes wrong, it affects me like emotionally. I hate to have a customer call me and tell me something isn't going right.
Damn.
So I'm always there. Like the guys know the threat of me being there or popping up is there, so they're gonna do a good job. You know? So I had to like kind of back off of that a little bit and start like letting my people do what they should be doing on the jobs. Trusting that they're gonna do it, giving them more respect because they know like how I feel about it and they respect me, and then just allowing people to do things like scheduling and stuff like that. I come to find when you allow people to do those jobs for you and they care about you, it's gonna make your life that much easier. You have to put responsibility elsewhere. Otherwise, like I was ready, like overwhelmed, ready to like give up, and I was wondering why. I'm putting so much on my plate. Because I wanted to be great that I just had to start like giving duties here and paying people well for them. And they're doing a job better than me. I was like, nobody can do it like me. I'm gonna have to, because I know what my mental state is. But there's people who will buy into your vision if you buy into them, and they'll do a better job for you than you do. So that's where I've learned from. Even like my guys who do all the out of state moves. I don't even talk to them anymore. I just send the truck, send the supplies, they pack the whole house up, and I don't even talk to them. I don't even see them. Wow. Whereas at first I was like always arguing with them. And they've been doing this like 10 years longer than me. And I'm arguing with them because I'm trying to get them to do it my way when I'm not understanding their way. And they've been doing it longer than me. So I have guys who work for me who are way better than me at what we do. So I had to just allow them to, hey, take care of it. We've known each other long enough. I'm trusting you to do it. And the moves have been going great. Out of state moves, I have done nothing on but go buy some supplies, take the phone call, like moving to Patty Mills to New York, or a couple out of state moves like that. Those moves are like $24,000 to like $30,000 a move. And so to be able to tell my guys, here's everything you need, get the job done, here's a debit card, take care of it, and they go complete a $30,000 move without me doing anything, and I get my profit off of it. That's how you're starting to be successful when you're not doing anything but making money.
You planted the seeds and now it's starting to flourish.
Now it's starting to flourish.
Man, so I'll tell you, bro, we're already 11 minutes past the hour, bro, and this is the longest we've gone on a podcast, and we still got a ton of people tuned in and chiming in. So bro, I appreciate you for joining me this morning. I know you got a busy schedule. You know,
in the rain.
I'm so grateful and appreciative that the fact that you were willing to not just show up and tell your story, but to make yourself vulnerable so that people can get to know your story and hear where you come from. And I'll tell you right now, man, you're going to have a bunch of people that are going to be reaching out to you that have a better understanding of who you are and where you come from. I mean, bro, we got people messaging. We got Stephanie on here saying she's got a move coming up in the next few months and she plans on using you. But bro, again, man, I appreciate you sharing your story and coming from a place of vulnerability and being an inspiration to others. And all I could say, man, is keep doing what you're doing, because what you're doing is working. And I look forward to seeing you continue to grow your business and be the biggest and best moving company in town.
Appreciate it.
And yeah, man. So thank you for joining us today.
No, I appreciate everybody for using me. Everybody in the industry, like, I won't say any names, but everybody who shows me support and love, like it's appreciated. That's man. People believing in me is something that I'm not used to. So now to having all these people believing in me, it's a beautiful feeling. So I'm here for the ride. So.
Hey, so how can people find you, man? With your moving company?
My phone number is 210-718-4578. Facebook, Just in Time Moving. Instagram, Just in Time Moving.
Nice.
Yeah, everybody knows the numbers real big on the side of the truck. So yeah.
Y'all know how to find them, man. So again, thank you for joining me this morning. Everybody, I will see you next Wednesday live at 7 a.m. I'm going to have my little BFF, Brittany LaBrutta, my little chicken nugget on the show. I'm taking off tomorrow evening for her bachelorette party. We're going fishing this weekend down at the beach. And so we're going to have some pretty cool stories to tell that I'm looking forward to. And I'm sure a lot of the people that watch, they're always asking for Brittany to come back on the show. So I'm looking forward to next week. I'm looking forward to next month in general. I have some amazing guests that are going to be coming on in the month of September. So stay tuned for that. Make sure that you go like and follow or subscribe my YouTube channel, The Sauce Podcast with AJ Reygadas. Thank you for joining me today. I hope all of you have a beautiful day, a blessed day. Go make an impact on somebody. Y'all have a good one. That was good, man.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you.